welcome to our English news coming to you from Canal, Algérie. To the headlines. The death of 38 people in a painful traffic accident in Tamnarast province, and the President of the Republic extends his condolences to the families of the victims and gives instructions to find out the conditions for caring for the severely burnt people. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, affirms from Beijing Algeria's endeavor to develop the comprehensive strategic partnership between Algeria and China within the efforts to strengthening the regional and international positioning in light of the current global changes. During his meeting with Chinese Prime Minister and Chairman of the Standing Committee of the National People's Congress of the Republic of China. The President of the Republic affirms that Algeria is a promising investment destination in vital fields. In a message to the Algerian Chinese Business Forum, more details in this bulletin. The President of the Republic congratulates the Algerian people and the Islamic nation on the occasion of the new Hijri year 1445. And we will wrap up our news in Tishi, more precisely in Bijaya province, where tourism is in full swing. Hotels, infrastructures attract a significant number of tourists, a sight that becomes very popular in summer. Welcome back. First in our news, during his state visit to the People's Republic of China, the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, learned the terrible news of the traffic accident that happened in the province of Tamnarast. Following this tragic event, the President of the Republic expressed his sincere condolences and his deep compassion to the victims' families, praying to Almighty Allah for mercy on the victims' souls and patience for their families, and hoping a speedy recovery to the injured ones. The Health Minister Abdelhak Saihi and the Minister of National Solidarity, Family and Women's Status Kautar Kriku expressed on Wednesday in Tamnarast the President of the Republic's condolences to the victims' families of the tragic traffic accidents. The seriously wounded people with severe burns are taken care of in public hospital institution Misbah Baghdad in Tamnarast province, where the two ministers reviewed the conditions for caring for the wounded, stressing that all conditions are provided to ensure medical and psychological care for them. The Minister of Health explained that 6 wounded people will be transferred to the Great Burns Hospital in Zeralda, more precisely in the capital, as soon as possible. 3 injured people among the victims of the traffic accident that happened on Wednesday morning in the north of the province of Tamnarast left the Misbah Baghdad hospital. The Attorney General at the Court of Tamnarast ordered the opening of an investigation. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, is continuing his state visit to the People's Republic of China at the invitation of his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping, as part of the consolidation of the solid and historic relations and the strengthening of the strategic partnership between the two friendly countries. The President of the Republic met on Wednesday the Chinese Prime Minister Li Qiang at the Great Palace of the Peoples in Beijing. During the meeting, the head of state indicated that Algeria, through its strategic partnership with China as a world economic power, aspires to strengthen its position at regional and African levels, expressing his satisfaction with the structuring projects that China wanted to launch in Algeria. For his part, the Chinese Prime Minister said that the state visit to his country by the President of the Republic reflected the strength and depth of relations between Algeria and China. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, also met the chairman of the Standing Committee of the National People's Congress of China, Suwai Leji. During the meeting, the President of the Republic affirmed Algeria's desire to set up a joint commission to develop the partnership between Algeria and China and thus benefit from China's experience in the political, economic and military fields. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, then headed for Tiananmen Square, located in the center of the Chinese capital in Beijing. After listening to the national anthems of the two countries, he laid a wreath of flowers in front of the commemorative stele of the people's heroes. The Algerian Chinese Business Forum was held on Wednesday in Beijing with the participation of members of the large ministerial delegation accompanying the President of the Republic on his state visit to the People's Republic of China. Several heads of national companies and economic groups, both public and private, took part, as well as Chinese businessmen and economic operators.
لا يمكن لأي حديث عن العلاقة الجزائرية الصينية.
We cannot talk about the relations between Algeria and China without going back to their historical depth. The authentic relations that express our common desire to establish a global strategic partnership on the visit that I'm making to the People's Republic of China at the invitation of His Excellency, the President and the dear friend Xi Jinping. We succeeded in setting a new milestone in the process of consolidating relations between the countries.
لبنة في مسار تعزيزها.
The president also stressed that his presence in China reflects the common will of Algeria and China to deepen cooperation, affirming that Algeria is a promising investment destination in vital fields thanks to the assets and benefits that it has. We listen.
زيارة الدولة التي أقوم بها هي تعبير.
The state visit that I'm making is a sincere expression of our commitment to work for the promotion of our bilateral relations. We attach fundamental importance to the economic cooperation. Algeria today has several assets and advantages that make it a promising investment destination in vital areas such as agriculture, energy, agribusiness and pharmaceutical industry, as well as the sectors of tourism, transport services, renewable energy and infrastructure. Thanks to the decisions and measures that we have initiated to free up initiative and pave the way for competition.
Still in a message read on his behalf, the President of the Republic affirmed that the way was open in Algeria in front of the Chinese businessmen for the partnership in all sectors, calling the latter to invest and to benefit from the granted facilitations. Let's have a listen.
نعمل على تثمين واستغلال قدراتنا.
We work to enhance and exploit the capabilities in the mining sector by creating a favorable climate for investment based on efficiency and economic competitiveness, by encouraging entrepreneurship, the knowledge economy and startups, and by reforming the banking and financial system. Starting from this, I reaffirm that the way is open in Algeria to Chinese businessmen for partnership and investment in all sectors in order to benefit from the facilitations granted to economic operators.
The Algerian-Chinese Forum held in Beijing was crowned by the signing of 12 agreements between Algerian and Chinese companies in several economic sectors. Story by Rafiq Hamidash.
The Algerian-Chinese Economic Forum is a new opportunity for a strategic partnership between Algeria and China, knowing that businessmen came with a firm and clear intention of signing contracts with Chinese partners.
Today we've witnessed an important presence of Algerian economic operators who came to China. Almost 140 Chinese operators are taking part in it as well, which reflects their high interest in the Algerian market.
Technology transfer was at the very heart of these agreements. For Bomar Company, it's a culmination of several years' work.
Starting from today, Algerian products will be produced and developed in Algeria for Algerians, and it will be exported to Europe thanks to this joint venture.
I am excited to be part in this strategic cooperation with my Algerian partner. I can't wait to discover the Algerian and African market.
A determined group of investors to turn this strategic alliance into a genuine business opportunity, as in the case of this investor who found the right Chinese partner.
We have concluded the cooperation agreement with a Chinese company specialized in the production of human albumin, and it will take place in Algeria next year. It should be noted that $5.7 billion of this albumin is consumed by the world. A value of $160 billion is consumed by Africa.
Huawei, the global telecommunications giant, sees startups as a key part of its strategy in Algeria.
In the framework of the President of the Republic's visit to China, Huawei Algeria has signed a cooperation agreement with Algeria Venture to launch a new cloud in Algeria for startups, which are part of Huawei's strategic plan for economy and ecosystem.
The project leaders will concretize their innovative ideas in a favorable and positive environment which is so accessible to them.
A dozen agreements have been signed so far, making by this the start of a strategic relationship between the Middle Kingdom and Algeria.
Between China and Algeria, strong ties and historic cooperation agreements embodied through the achievement of vital projects, notably in the field of technology and communication. More details with Sabrin Tafrikinit.
The historic and strong ties between Algeria and China is being reinforced even more as the two countries are aiming to promote it to achieve higher levels and open up wider horizons, notably in the field of technology and communication. The consolidation is embodied through the signing of two 5-year global strategic cooperation plans.
الشركات الصينية خاصة في مجال الاتصالات كانت متواجدة منذ أكثر.
Chinese companies, in particular those specialized in communications, have been present in Algeria for over 20 years. As you know, China is a world power in terms of technology, which is why we must take advantage of this friendship, so that China can accompany Algeria and contribute to the development of these technologies.
إنجاح المشاريع اللي عندها علاقة بالاتصالات ولكن التمكن من هذه التكنولوجيات والمساهمة في تطوير هذه التكنولوجيات.
Algeria has countless natural resources, notably uranium, but also rare ones, that are in high demand for the manufacture of electronic chips and cell phones. As a leader in this field, China has made considerable progress in new technologies and fifth generation, which forms the backbone of the world's basic infrastructures and new mobile networks.
كمية هذه طريقة جديدة رايحين ننطلقوا فيها العالم كله يمشي ينطلق فيها.
OneTech is a new technology that the whole world will be adopting, and we want Algeria to be there from the start to understand and to adapt university programs to market needs, and also to contribute with its skills to the development of this technology.
وكذلك المساهمة. يعني إذا كاين 10 شركات في الصين وتمنينا تكون شركة ولا شركتين تستثمر معنا هنا في الجزائر وكاين كفاءات جزائرية.
The Chinese company Huawei is a world leader in this field as they made significant progress in artificial intelligence, which represents the technology of the future that would directly impact the economic and security sector.
Within the framework of this friendship and cooperation, these companies are encouraging their governments to be present in Algeria, not only for the commercial aspect, but also for the development of these technologies and investment, and to move towards African markets.
Cooperation between Algeria and China has given a push to the first invention between the ZTE company and the National Agency for the Promotion of Technology Parks in Sidi Abdullah, which saw technology trials before the availability of the fifth generation.
These can benefit from the participation of Algerian skills in laboratories, or it will be launched here in Algeria in collaboration with universities and research centers. Thanks to this, Algerian skills will gain better knowledge in this field, so that Algeria is not just a simple market for Chinese products, but much more. Algeria should be a place to develop these technologies in advance.
The Algerian-Chinese cooperation, notably in the fields of technology and information, will effectively consolidate the ties and strengthen the friendship between the two countries.
The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, sends his best wishes to the Algerian people and to the entire Muslim nation on the occasion of the month of Muharram and the New Year Hijri 1445, wishing more prosperity to Algeria. The Minister of the Interior, Local Authorities and National Planning, Brahim Rad, on Wednesday in Algiers, stressed the necessity of maintaining the same level of vigilance and mobilization at national level with a view to preventing forest fires. During a visit to Algiers province, Brahim Rad inquired at the Palace de la Concorde Civile in Ben Aknoun about the prevention and fight against forest fires and called on citizens to contribute to prevention efforts, especially as the human factor is the cause of most of the fires recorded. The minister went on to reassure the public that despite the record temperatures, the fires that broke out in various parts of the country had all been brought under control with no loss of life, and that the credit for this was due to the proactive measures taken by the public authorities and the quality of the interventions by the civil defense services, backed up by the resources mobilized, particularly air resources. As part of their sustained efforts in the fight against terrorism and multifaceted organized crime, units and detachments of the People's National Army carried out several operations between July 12th and 18th this year, achieving excellent results that reflect the high level of professionalism, vigilance and permanent availability of our armed forces throughout the country. Following the fight against terrorism and thanks to the exploitation of intelligence, ANP detachment apprehended 3 elements supporting terrorist groups in separate operations. And as part of the fight against organized crime and in continuation of the sustained efforts to thwart the scourge of drug trafficking in our country, combined detachments of the National People's Army, in coordination with the various security services, intercepted 58 drug traffickers and thwarted attempts to smuggle 2 quintals and 98 kilograms of Kiev from the borders with Morocco, and seized more than 274,192 psychotropic tablets. In Tamanrast, Burj Mukhtar and Janet, National People's Army detachment arrested 315 individuals and seized 21 vehicles, 252 generators, 99 jackhammers, 2 metal detectors, as well as quantities of explosives, detonation tools and equipment used in illegal gold mining operations. In addition, 4 other individuals were arrested and 4 hunting rifles, quantities of foodstuffs intended for smuggling and speculation amounting to 66 tons were seized in separate operations across the country. Similarly, the Border Guard, in coordination with the National Gendarmerie and Customs Services, the Border Guards also failed attempts to smuggle quantities of fuel amounting to 17,187 liters in Tamnarast, Bissas, Soqaras and the Taraf provinces. On the other hand, the Coast Guards foiled illegal immigration and rescued 47 people aboard home-built boats, while 346 illegal immigrants of various nationalities were arrested throughout the country. The President of the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic and General Secretary of the Polisario Front urged the United Nations and all its institutions to take juridic and moral responsibilities towards the Sahrawi people. In a letter addressed to the General Secretary of the UN organization, he highly condemned the repressive campaigns of the Moroccan colonizer against Sahrawi militants, human rights defenders and journalists. The government of the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic affirmed that the recent position of the Zionist entity about Western Sahara is irrelevant and that the Sahrawi people remain determined to follow its fight for freedom. The Sahrawi authorities made the international community responsible of the dangerous results of the Moroccan Zionist alliance that aimed to hijack the stability of North Africa and the Sahel region. The Sahrawi Foreign Affairs Minister Mohamed Sidati is on a working visit to Pretoria, where he met his South African counterpart Naledi Pandor, who reaffirmed his country's constant and unconditional support of the inalienable right of the Sahrawi people to self-determination. The South African minister also said that Africa cannot be considered free from colonialism, while the Sahrawi people continue to suffer from occupation. Western Sahara is still the last colony of the continent. The Spanish authorities decided to reinforce their security measures in their borders with Morocco to face the rising of drug and human trafficking coming from this country. As reported by the local media, the command of the Civil Guard of the city of Ceuta received 18 members from the Reserve and Security Group, the elite unit of the Civil Guard, to reinforce the fight against the use of jet skis, an increasingly popular transport means for the drug and human beings trafficking between Morocco and Ceuta. As a reminder, Morocco is always mentioned in drug and human trafficking affairs to Europe, especially from Spain and its 2 terrorists, Ceuta and Melilla. In 2021, the royal police let more than 10,000 enter the city of Ceuta in one day. In last June, an important drug network between Netherlands and Morocco via the city of Melilla was dismantled. Tourism in Tishi in Bijaya province is in full swing. The hotel infrastructures in front of the sea attract a large number of tourists searching for refreshment and tranquility, a place that has become a very frequent holiday resort in summer. Reported by Saïda Mayouf, commentary by Rania Al-Bahri.
Tishi, a heavenly place in Bijaya province, is attracting families and tourists in search of freshness and tranquility by the sea or in the swimming pools. I'm surprised by the welcome, the swimming pools and the beach. The people are very welcoming. The beach is very pleasant. The region of Bijaya is a very charming region. The mountains, the sea, and a lot of places to visit. I came to spend my holidays here in Tishi. It is a very nice city. I like the beach and Cap Carbon. The waterfront hotel infrastructures offered all the necessary comfort to summer visitors, and it is an undeniable asset that strongly consolidates tourist activity in the region.
Thanks to the country's policy, tourism began to have an excellent future. It is an extraordinary country. I visited a lot of countries, whether in America or in Europe or everywhere, but it's incomparable. I left Canada and came back to invest in Algeria because I really believe that Algeria has a great potential and a new Algeria that is carrying out. We are in the process of positioning ourselves. For example, here we have a real paradise. It lacks additional services like an Aqualand for tourists.
Tishi, a beautiful city, a feeling of escape, and an infinite feeling of well-being.
That was it for tonight. Thank you for joining us. Good night.